An original podcast from podlatino.com.
When I think of music today, I think of a world without shelves, discs, or tapes. I think of sound that flows endlessly from the cloud into our ears, always there, always ready. This is the age of streaming, the final step in a long journey from vinyl and cassettes to CDs and downloads. Streaming has not only changed how we listen, it has changed how music is made, how artists connect with fans, and how the industry measures success. It is a revolution built on abundance, convenience, and algorithms. But it also raises difficult questions about value, fairness, and creativity. This is the story of how streaming transformed music into something infinite. The roots of streaming reach back to the early 2000s, when broadband internet became common. Services experimented with online radio and limited catalogues. Pandora, launched in 2000, offered personalized stations based on the Music Genome Project. It was interactive radio rather than on-demand music. But the idea of digital sound flowing over the internet was planted. The breakthrough came in 2008 in Sweden, when Spotify launched with the promise of giving users access to millions of songs instantly. Instead of owning tracks, listeners subscribed. It was radical. No need to buy, download, or store. Music lived in the cloud, and all you needed was a device and a connection. Soon, other players entered the field: Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer, Tidal, YouTube Music. Streaming became the dominant model within a decade. For fans, streaming felt like liberation. You could discover new artists in seconds, jump across decades and genres, and create playlists that reflected every mood. Music became personalized, guided by algorithms that learned from your habits. Discovery was endless and access was almost free. For a monthly fee less than the cost of a single CD, listeners had the world's catalogue in their pockets. For artists, the story was more complicated. Streaming replaced downloads, but revenue was divided into fractions of cents per stream. To earn the equivalent of selling one album, an artist needed tens of thousands of streams. Major stars with billions of plays thrived, but smaller artists often struggled. Critics argued that streaming devalued music, reducing it to background noise. Supporters countered that streaming gave exposure to artists who might otherwise never be heard, allowing global audiences to find them. The charts themselves changed. In the past, album sales defined success. Today, streams count toward chart positions, reshaping how hits are measured. Songs became shorter, designed to grab attention in the first seconds. Albums turned into playlists built to maximize streams. Some artists released deluxe editions with dozens of tracks, inflating numbers. Streaming didn't just reflect music, it began to shape it. Culturally, streaming reshaped fandom. Playlists became the new mixtapes, curated by platforms or shared by friends. Viral hits spread through social media, often propelled by TikTok trends. A 15-second clip could send a song to #1 worldwide. Global genres like K-pop, reggaeton, and Afrobeat thrived, reaching listeners across continents instantly. Borders that once limited radio and television disappeared. Streaming also rewrote the relationship between artists and fans. Platforms provided data on who listened, where, and how often. Artists could target tours, release strategies, and social media campaigns based on this information. Fans could follow artists directly, receive updates, and interact in real time. Music became both more personal and more statistical. But abundance had side effects. With over 100 million songs available, attention became the scarcest resource. Algorithms guided much of what listeners discovered, raising concerns about homogenization and bias. Some feared that music was becoming background filler, consumed passively rather than deeply experienced. Others celebrated the diversity, noting that never before had so much music been available to so many people. The economics of streaming also fueled debates. Platforms earned billions, but artists often saw little. Some experimented with alternative models, like Bandcamp's direct-to-fan sales or blockchain-based royalties. Others demanded reforms in how revenue was divided. The question of fairness remains one of the great challenges of the streaming era. Streaming has also influenced live music. With recorded revenue shrinking, concerts and festivals became vital sources of income. Artists use streaming platforms to build global fan bases, then monetize through tours and merchandise. In a sense, streaming turned recorded music into marketing for the live experience. Yet streaming continues to expand. Podcasts, audiobooks, and even video now live alongside music on the same platforms. The lines between media blur, creating ecosystems where sound is just one part of a larger entertainment universe. Streaming is no longer just a delivery method, it is the infrastructure of modern culture. Looking to the future, streaming may evolve with new technologies. Artificial intelligence already generates playlists, recommends tracks, and even composes music. Virtual reality concerts and immersive audio formats hint at new experiences. The promise is endless music without limits, but the challenges remain. How to value creativity, how to support artists, how to ensure that abundance does not drown out diversity. When I think of streaming, I think of more than technology. I think of mornings when a playlist sets the mood, of nights when a new discovery feels like a secret gift, of billions of people connected by invisible networks of sound. Streaming did not just change how we listen, it changed what it means to live with music. Music today is infinite, accessible, and always on. Streaming is not just the future, it is the present, shaping every beat we hear.